right out of high school, my mom wanted me to start paying rent. At this time, now I'm working at Pathmark. I'm not making any real money.
Right.
Her husband at the time helped me get a job, a really good job, State Hospital here in New Jersey, UMD&J.
Yeah, very familiar.
I was there right out of high school, making pretty good money right out of high school. And I was hard-headed, though. So it got to a point where 6 years later, my stepfather, was the same person that got me in there, was the same person that fired me.
Oh, he worked there.
He was the manager there of the department. Actually, he was a supervisor at the time.
Okay.
I'm manager at the department. He had to fire me.
Got it.
Best thing that ever happened in my life.
Really?
Because it was like, I call it God, right? It was God forced me out there to grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country.
All right, everybody. Thank you for jumping on with us for the Your Story podcast. Y'all know this is my favorite podcast that we do because I get to know a lot about an individual in a very short amount of time in ways that I would probably not do it in another sector or platform, whether that be lunch or dinner or anything. So I'm honored and excited to have my man, Keith McCrary, who's been a good friend of mine and a top producer for his time here at Family First Life. And he's here with me in the booth in New Jersey and getting it done at a high level right now. But I do, Keith, want to first say thank you for jumping on with me, and second say, how's it going on? How's it going, my man?
It's going well, bro.
That's one of those wells that, like, it's going well. Like, I saw you last week help 17 families. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Anytime you do that, it's going very well. So, but dude, your story, like, everyone has a past. Everyone has a place they came from, people that were involved and how and when. If you could share that, if you could walk us down the path with some of the things that made you the man you are today, I would greatly appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, for starters, bro.
Yes, sir.
And obviously you played a major part, and we're going to get to that. But thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dude, for me, wow. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of events. I used to move when I was younger every year, right? So like 4th grade, I'm in one town. 5th grade, I'm in one town. 6th grade, so like that continued all the way into my sophomore year of high school.
A new town.
Yeah, new town, new school.
New school.
Everywhere I went, I had to prove myself.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, obviously that lack of stability played a part later on, but as a kid, you don't kind of see it.
You don't know it, yeah.
But for me, high school, I started work. I got my first job, high school, guidance counselor. I asked him, he's like, "You want to work?" I'm like, "Yeah." He got me at my first job at a spot, Quiznos, a sandwich spot.
I used to love Quiznos, dude. I think they're still semi in business in certain places.
Not the one I was at in Union, I know that for sure. So started working there in high school. I was very early on, I just wanted to make my own money. Just what did I need money for in high school? A cell phone, stuff like that.
Right.
They didn't want to steal lunch. So I wanted to make my own.
You had that
money.
journey too?
Yeah.
Got it.
And then, so my guidance counselor, he was helpful. He helped me get my first job. That taught me early on to go out and just make my own. I had a science teacher who my guidance counselor asked to help me get out of high school and wasn't supposed to go. And he looked at me and said, "Don't make me regret this."
Wow.
And I remember those words to this day.
Wait, say that again? A science teacher how did he play a part?
I wasn't supposed to graduate.
Okay.
And,
okay.
The science teacher kind of signed off on it. And he looked at me. He said, "Don't make me regret this."
Wow.
Senior year, yeah. He said, "Don't make me regret this."
Wow.
Shout out to you, Mr. Hoyt.
Shout out to Mr. Hoyt.
And then from there, I mean, I did a little bit of community college, but right out of high school, my mom wanted me to start paying rent. And at this time, now I'm working at Pathmark. I'm not making any real money.
Right.
Her husband at the time helped me get a job, a really good job, state hospital here in New Jersey, UMD&J.
Yeah, very familiar.
I was there right out of high school, making pretty good money right out of high school. And then from there, I did that for about 6 years, working the overnight shift, working different shifts. And I was hard-headed, though. So it got to a point where 6 years later, my stepfather was the same person that got me in there, was the same person that fired me.
Oh, he worked there.
He was the manager there of the department. Actually, he was a supervisor at the time.
Okay.
I'm manager at the department. He had to fire me.
Got it.
Best thing that ever happened in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I got very complacent there. I mean, came out of high school 17, so I'm 18, making okay money. I mean, at the time, it was like 16 an hour.
Yeah. That's good at 18, bro.
Living at home. Yeah.
That's serious. That's a serious check every 2 weeks, bro.
So that's what that was. So he had to fire me. Again, best thing that ever happened to me because it was like, I call it God, right? It was God forced me out there to grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm on unemployment, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, why don't you speak to such and such and see if you can get one of those towing jobs?" So I started towing.
This is the legendary story.
So I mean, I'm towing. I tried out different companies. I'm just doing the regular, AAA stuff. But I found out the money was in taking people's cars. And now I'm a rebel growing up. Straight, I'm leaving a lot of that out. I'm a rebel growing up. I was into everything, always in trouble. So you found a job that allowed me to be a rebel and get paid for it. It was like a dream. Because it's like I'm allowed to curse you out and say whatever I want and not get in trouble for it.
Wow.
I can take your car, you can get mad at me, but it's okay because if I curse you out and I took your car, I'm not getting fired.
Wow.
They're actually going to back me.
So you know what's funny, is I had a weird story where there was like a car like left in my driveway. Did I tell you the story?
You did. We're not
Bro.
telling it.
And it's super weird because we have to check the cameras and it's like this suited guy and he walks off and I'm like, what is going on? And I come home and there's a car in the, and then we finally get the tow because we don't have anything to do with this car. And the tow guy comes and he has no problem digging what's the thing called?
Yeah, the bottom of the truck. No,
To go get the car and digging it into my concrete and just going, grr, 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 and the concrete's just rolling up.
Yeah.
And I'm losing my mind. And he's just looking at like, I can't stand y'all. Like, I'm like, yo, what makes this legal? Or how is this, like, who's paying for this? Who's paying for my concrete?
Yeah.
And then I was hot. But now I'm hearing you say it. Like, he gets to do whatever he wants and not get quote unquote fired.
Dude,
keep going.
It was the Wild Wild West with that. I mean, I've had guns pulled out on me.
That's real.
Women come back with their man or some man. And this was in Elizabeth. So, Elizabeth isn't too soft.
Isn't too soft.
So it was real. But from there, right?
How did you handle guns being pulled? Was it always like, do what you got to do?
Yeah, so again, back to I was always a rebel. I mean, before insurance, I had a history. It's no secret. The insurance carriers know. The State Department of Insurance know. I lived in that world. Gangs, drugs. Almost did not make it into the industry. I don't know if you remember when I got in, I always had to submit extra paperwork with a contract.
Yeah.
So I lived in that world. So as I'm working and that's happening, it was normal. And And I lived in it so much from a gang perspective that from a towing car perspective, I kind of knew no one was really going to do it. You did it to scare me.
Yeah.
You know, I got your car hooked. You want to shoot me, and your car is hooked to this truck.
You're crazy, bro.
So it's like
I'm pulling off, bro. Peace.
I knew how to maneuver very well in that because I maneuvered very well in the streets. I've been around a lot of high level. I mean, again, it's not a brag. It's just, again, my story, right? I've been around a lot of high-level criminals, so that was just a joke for me.
Got it.
I'm just trying to get paid.
Yeah.
So my thing, that's probably when I learned I was in sales. I'm like, you're going to kill a guy? I'm just taking your car, man. You weren't supposed to be here. So, yeah, I mean, that was fun, right? So, but it gets to a point. Dude, we were reckless. Jeez. But it gets to a point where I was doing about $6,000 a month doing that. It got to a point where I just wanted something different. So working, really I got into sales behind the flashy things, which was good because, again, back to God knowing what it took for me to move. So I was towing a car, and I seen a Lamborghini and a Nissan GTR coming down the block together. And dude, I'm like a kid. I'm mesmerized, like, wow. And the friend at the time was like, yeah, I know who that is. He, this is what he does. He's in sales. I'm like, yo, son, rewind. No, that's not what happened.
Go ahead.
I decided that I needed life insurance. So I called up a friend that's been trying to get me to get life insurance that I've been pushing off, someone from high school. And I said, hey, let's sit down. I need some life insurance. I'm making pretty good money. I don't know what, I have kids. I don't know what the family's going to do if anything happens to me.
Right.
From us sitting down to get life insurance, being there was a friend, I said, hey, how do you get paid for this? And he broke it down to me. Him breaking it down to me, I got licensed, and I spoke to someone that was in FFL at the time, someone else I went to high school with. And I was telling him how much I make a week. He was like, I'm like, yeah, I make about $1,500 a week. He's like, yeah, I spend that on leads.
I can see the face.
Just like that. You know what I'm talking about, too.
I spend that on leads.
I'm like, wow, okay.
That's great.
Yeah. So I got licensed 2 weeks. I started studying 2 weeks after that. It took a lot of legwork. I had to call the commissioner, Department of Insurance, tell them what my background was, kind of go through that process. They said, hey, we think you should be okay. Just go through it. I didn't know I was going to have a problem at the carrier level, but the state was okay.
Right.
At the time, it was a felony. Everything's gone now.
Amen.
And so they said, well, you should be okay. And they allowed me. I got licensed, took the test, finished everything, 2 weeks, got licensed. Conference was probably a month later. This was 2016. Conference was a month later. I went to conference. I loved everything. I kept towing and would buy, age leads on the side, do some things whenever I had. But I was still comfortable. I was doing $6,000 a month. I was okay. I thought that was real money. I mean, for me, that was the most money that I've ever made legally. So it's like,
Right.
So from there, I just kind of played with it, played around with it, made some money. But I never was consistent because I never wanted to continue to put money into leads. And it's not because I was losing on them. It's just, again, I'm comfortable.
Right.
Nice car. I was doing my thing at the time.
Yep.
That's the Lamborghini story.
Got it.
Their deal was, I found out who the owner of the Lamborghini was. I went to go work for them because their deal was, hey, you don't have to pay for leads here. It wasn't insurance.
Right.
Hey, you don't have to pay for leads here. So I'm like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm quitting tomorrow. Because it's like, there's no risk.
What year was this?
2016.
This is still 16.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it was August. It was like June, July, August, the summer of 2016. I stopped towing full time, and I went to work there because it was a Monday through Friday gig, 9 a.m., 7 p.m., all commission-based sales, but I wasn't paying for leads. So it's like, I know how to hustle.
Right.
I'm going to make some money, and which I did. But it was not as fast as I needed to be because I just jumped out with no safety net.
Got it.
So it's funny how God works, right? So me working there, mind you, I'm licensed in insurance. Someone there was also, he does car insurance. And I don't know if it was, he doesn't have any kids, young guy. I don't know if he was just trying to look me out. He said, write a policy on me.
Okay.
We're not even cool like that. But he write a policy, young dude. I guess he was just trying to look me out. Write a policy on me, wrote a policy on him. And at the time, dude, wow, insurance has changed because this is when we used to fax paper apps into America. You remember that? Yes. Wow. So I wrote him the app, term app. I came into your old office to submit it, and it's probably it's probably like maybe 6, 7 p.m. You're the only one there though. All the staff is gone, and you're talking to me. You know, we didn't know each other like that. It was just kind of through passing, right? So you're talking to me, and then the next, I came to, again, that's when we're faxing apps. I came to drop the application off so Tiff can submit it for me the next day. The next day you had, I'm not going to say her name, one of the staff members working for you called me the next day. I didn't put two and two at a time, but I'm like, all right, Mark must tell her to call me. So she calls me, she's offering me an opportunity to go full time with FFL. And she was like, yeah, are you working at the time? I'm like, yeah. And then she kind of sold me on, you know, going forward full time with FFL. So me and you worked out what we worked out as far as the leads. But I don't know if you remember early on, dude, I wasn't afraid to travel. So you first originally did get me leads in my backyard. And I liked the way you did it.
I like the way you did. I don't even know what I did. What did I do?
You gave me leads in the county that I was living in.
Okay, got it. I got you hooked.
Yep. and that county is a very good county.
Yeah.
I'm part-time writing apps for $250, $300 a month.
Right.
On couples. And these are people that actually make money. So these apps are sticking. They're not charging back nothing. So I'm like, wow. I was actually negative before I started working with you. Negative bank account. So just that fast, I seen the bank account change. Like, oh, okay. I started taking a little bit more serious. Then from there, I started going to South Jersey. Because you said, I can't get you out. There's not too many in this area. Started going to South Jersey. South Jersey, okay, cool. Still part-time. Probably like 2 months. And then, dude, you said, all right, we're going to stop playing with this deal over there and just go full time. Like, you're making money. Because, again, I needed that push. I needed that push.
Right.
And I November 1st, 2016, I went full time FFL. And, you know, it's been there, right? But, dude, the journey for me, I made it sound very easy. It hasn't always been that, right? Obviously, a lot of, you know, inconsistencies growing up. Right. Family stuff. Lost my brother at 18.
Wow.
I was 18. He was 22 at the time.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Only brother. I probably got like 5 sisters. That's my only brother.
Wow.
Again, just hanging around with everybody that wasn't good for me. So it's like, dude, I was very rough, very hard-headed. And I didn't, just so we're clear, I didn't grow up in poverty. I'm not one of those people that's like, you know, we were poor. That wasn't the case for me. The case for me was I didn't have any guidance. There wasn't a man in the house to kind of, you know, guide us through things. I'm not saying, you know, a woman can't do it, but everyone's so busy, right? No one was actually taking an individual time out to talk to us. So I had a lot of anger growing up.
Yeah.
And that anger always led to fighting all the time in school. Idolizing rap music at a very high level that I was easily influenced.
Right.
And rap music, once it gets into a certain kid's head, it's like, yo, I want to grow up, I want to be like that. And that was the biggest thing for me. It's like, yo, such and such said this, I want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna repeat lyrics, but it's like that. I wanted their lifestyle. So it's like, dude, what's the movie as far as back as I can remember? I always wanted to be a gangster. What movie is that?
That's Goodfellas.
That's what it was for me. It wasn't an insurance agent. It's like, yo, this is what everyone around the way is doing. This is what I'm doing. This is our life. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And that's always what it was. Always what it was. To do what everyone else in the neighborhood is doing. And dude, I can't act like I consciously made a decision to get away from any of that.
Right.
Like it was nothing more than God, but then God using people, God using you, right? So fast forward, once I really went full time, you started helping me with leads out of state. And while I'm in insurance, I'm still playing around. I'm still hanging with people that I should not be hanging with, especially when I got God's given grace to even get in the industry. Because at the carrier level, the only carrier I had was America my first full-time year.
Okay.
And I still did a quarter.
Wow.
Just America. Because none of the other carriers would take me because my record.
Right.
It wasn't expunged yet. From you sending me out of state is what the force was that pulled me away from hanging around with the people that I shouldn't be hanging around. Because I'm dialing Monday for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Friday, Saturday. Or in the beginning, you're still trying to find your rhythm. So sometimes I'll dial for Thursday, for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just all over the place. So I'm always 3 hours away in Delaware, in hotels and things like that. I don't have time to do anything anymore.
Right.
And it was from me chasing essentially money. That's really what it started as. It was a carrot for me. Not necessarily growth, it was money. Essentially from me chasing that carrot, it pulled me away from everyone. And it gave me time to think.
Wow.
And from that time to think, it allowed me to become influenced by other things. That's when I kind of got on to E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher.
Got it.
So now I'm back and forth to Delaware listening to nothing but E.T.
Yeah.
Like it's on repeat.
Yeah.
E.T. So from there, that's where it started. I don't know where it went from there. Okay. And that's when the FFL had a lot of recording. So it's always a training or some Eric Thomas training or Eric Thomas. And dude, all of that, I just filled my mind with so much stuff that I had to flush everything out that I knew. And dude, I'm leaving a lot out.
Yeah. Just saying a lot, dude. I mean, so this is why I love the Your Story podcast, because it forces the jewels out in a short period of time. I didn't know a lot of this. And I don't know how I would have found out a lot of this without saying, hey, tell me about your past, which is it's sometimes awkward to ask someone that.
Yeah.
But it does tell me a lot about you, and I think that's all good. I remember you calling me and was just like, yo, like, I really just need an opportunity. It was something like that. It was like, look, I just really need an opportunity. And I started asking you some questions. And once I got down to the nitty gritty, I was like, okay, got it. It's like, if I don't help you, then I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Right. So to hear all of that and then hear, and see what's now happened, the fruit is, where you are today, right? Which is fully like, yeah, your FFL career has been a journey, but the one thing that was never your problem was your ability to help people with life. Like you were always really good at that.
Yeah.
It's just, were you going to be consistent or not, right? And now, hearing all of this, again, I knew Delaware, you told me Delaware changed your life, but I didn't really know how. It was pulling you, I didn't know that. So, it's funny how I'm just trying to help you reach your financial location that you're telling me you want. And then all these other things are happening at the same time. That's God. That's definitely not me, right? So he's working in all these, in all these spaces and places that we sometimes don't even know it's happening, but it's happening. So, so here you are now, at FFL 2023 and poised to have your best year ever.
Yeah.
Like, done with everything that, is distracting, locked and loaded. How did you get to that place of inconsistencies to, I'm done playing with this?
So you mentioned I never struggled to sell life insurance. I always struggled to stay consistent. Again, going back to childhood, I didn't know what consistency was.
Right.
So what got to the point where it's like I poised for 2023 to be my best year is because I've done a lot of work, right? So it's not really like an event. It's constantly doing work and investing into things that will continue to help me develop. Right. So the development over time got me to the point where a lot of limiting beliefs were broken. And I began to realize my true potential. And I still don't know my true potential, right? Because potential is always to be realized, right?
Yep.
Like there's always more. But it got to a point where it's like I'm seeing it's twofold. One, I'm seeing people winning respectfully. I know when it comes to sales, I'm better than them. Respectfully.
I love it.
So it's like this, I'm better than you at sales, but you're crushing it though. You make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. and I didn't like that.
That's good.
I knew my downfall wasn't my sales ability. I knew it was me not working. So it just got to the point where it's like I wanted better for myself. And then again, my lifestyle came with really, which is the fruit, the joy is I have 4 beautiful kids, bro.
Praise God.
And they do not deserve for me to not be a top producer, agency owner, agency builder at all.
That's strong.
Right? They're all, dude, I got teenagers, bro. My daughter's about to be 15 in less than 30 days.
Wow.
So it's like, I got high school. Well, she's in high school, but after high school, we got college.
Yep.
She's a freshman, right? So it's just like, I think the urgency of like, yo, people, people tell me all the time, you look young, you look young, you look young. But I need to look at my kids. No matter how young you tell me, like, yo, these kids are growing up.
Yeah.
No, and it's like, I look young, but yo, I have kids that are going to be stepping out into the real world that are going to be looking for an opportunity.
Yeah, that's real.
And I can't make them go to college.
Right.
But I want to know that whatever they decide to do, we can sit down, we can talk about it. And then it's like, okay, we can afford to do that.
That's strong.
And that's what really the consistency is coming from. It's my daughter's freshman year, bro. And I'm like, yo, I need to do something.
Wow. That's so strong, man. That, that intrinsic motivation, like just so real. I mean, I had the same mentality when my son was born, just like, yo, he didn't ask to come here. Like, I ain't got no time to play with this, So that's super real, man. Wow. Like, I'm fired up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just so 2023. What are your goals? Personal production. How many families are you looking to serve? And if you have team goals, what are those? 600
families.
600 families?
No less.
Dude, that'll be a really good day. Because, dude, I'm sitting here like, you know what we've been through.
Yep.
Through the years just trying to figure this out. And it's like, that would be a great day to see you be where you belong. And I think I'm at that stage of my career where that's one of my main focuses is how can I help people be where they belong, and insurance sales. Like, I mean, like your talent is not even a question. So if you're that talented, what's stopping you from being where you belong? And I'm looking at people, and people are, resurfacing in my life, and people are, showing up, and Warren Market is coming out of class, and I'm like, all right, well, my sole job, if they will allow me, everyone's independent. You know what I mean? That part I know really well. Yeah. So if they will allow me, is to help them be where they belong or be the king or queen that they were born to be. And that's what I see when I look at you, you know? I see a king. And it's like, to see that and then I see that back just by laser focus and consistency that'd be a great day.
Yeah. For my personal production to be 600 families, I mean, obviously we'll reverse engineer what the numbers look like, but I would love to have at least a team that does 400 families outside of me. Be able to hit that, you know, that mark right there.
Per month. For the year.
For the year.
Okay.
And then obviously kind of grow over time.
Okay.
And I'm probably playing small saying that.
You are. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, that's for me, is I know where you are mentally. I know you're locked in. I know, you know, I know what I need to do to try to help. And, you know, I'm really excited for you. I love this podcast. I loved your story. It sheds a lot of light, but also, like, it says a lot about who you are. Like, you overcome a lot, bro, to be where you are, to be locked in where you are, positive, focus on your kids, focused on the right things in life. Like, you're a winner, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Dude, I had to accept the fact that everything that I have is a gift.
Right.
I had to dig deep and find my appreciation and my gratitude because I noticed I was treating this like I was taking it for granted, right? Like, dude, I went through a lot of things to get to the point where I'm here, right? From the street stuff, and then from that followed me into the industry, and then overcoming things with the carriers and, you know, things, and then, you know, overcoming things in my mind, right? So it's just like I had to realize, like, I had to sit back and think of times where I know for a fact that somebody bigger than me pulled me out of a situation that would have warranted me not being able to sit in the seat right now.
That's strong.
Whether I'm talking to my kids on a prison phone or they're coming to visit my grave. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I experienced that, and I treated life like I'd never experienced that. And it was crazy to me. Like, yo, why am I waking up like I didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Dude, it was crazy to me. So that kind of sparked inside of me and said, yo, I have to treat every day like it's a gift. And it won't always feel that way.
Right.
And I had to learn that even when it doesn't feel that way, that doesn't mean it isn't.
That's facts. Wow. That's amazing. Dude, that's amazing. Yo, this is one of my favorites, yo. I ain't gonna lie. Keith, just because there's a lot of new agents listening to this, number one, what would be a parting shot for new agents? And if there was someone out there that found this podcast and wanted to work with you, how could they reach you?
So new agents that find this podcast that would like to work with me, my Instagram handle is Keith_M, like Michael, JR. That's my Instagram. Keith McCrary on Facebook. And then parting shots for new agents is understand what it is that you want to have, and then be the person that does the things to have what you want, right? So one of my mentors teaches be, do, have, right? You want to have something, be the person that does the thing so you can have what you want, right? And it's really development and getting around the right people that can help you grow. It's constantly renewing your mind daily. And the people that you think they might love you, but that does not mean they are the best for you. So it's leaving people where they are with no bad feelings, leaving things, places, and just consistently changing and chasing your next level and getting around people that believe in you. I know I didn't go into this. I don't know how much time we got left, but 2017, after my first full-time year, dude, I had like this breakdown. You know what I mean? And I called you and I told you about it. And and that's what I always loved about you, bro, because you never pretended, right? And you was like, yo, I don't know all the answers, but I know who does. And you had invited me to church. And then from there, dude, you invited me one time. You invited me to one time. We sat together. After that, you just let me be. Like, we spoke about it, but you let me be. And I kept showing up every Sunday.
Yeah.
All by myself.
Strong.
And it was that really shifted everything for me, because it removed a lot of my ego, my arrogance, the street mindset that I had.
Right.
And I began to flush it full on positivity.
Wow.
And that's what I would say to new agents. You have to flush your mind with the things that you want, whatever that is. Like, block everything out and go after what you want. And dude, that's how I got here, bro. It's honestly, it was an invite to church, bro. Because when I first got in the industry, I was still playing around.
Yeah, that's strong. Well, praise God, because He's the only one who has the ability to do that.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that.
Facts.
So sometimes an invitation is all you need.
Yep.
So you capitalized on that, man. You're a legend, bro. Thank you for joining me on the Your Story podcast. Bro, this is definitely one of my favorites. I appreciate you, and this is going to be one that you definitely want to play back. This is hope for anybody from any walk of life that wants to do anything that it can be done. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you, bro.
God bless you guys. Keep listening.